Okay, as you can see on this screen here, I got this set up right now up in the 1 minute increments, and the currency pairs is Great Britain USD, and that's up on this side. Again, these are the 5 minute charts that we're on right now, but they have a thing that drops down, and you could change it from 5 minute, so you can either see 5 minute candles. This right here is the 1 minute candle. So what I've noticed here with the 1 minute candle, at the beginning of it, which is right here, I put an S over there for the start, just to show you this is the beginning of a 5 minute candle, but they got it broken down into 1 minute. So here's 1 minute. This is the second minute. This is the third minute. This is the fourth minute. This is the fifth minute. That equals 5 minutes from here to here. What I found out is that whenever you start a candle here at the first minute there, I've looked back at every candle pattern that I could see going back, and if the green that all these candles that follow this first candle, at most it will drop down maybe 20. That's at most. From and what I mean by 20 is gonna, if you take this green candle here, it's gonna drop down. It's only gonna drop down. These right here, this red, for instance, right here, it was coming down, but it only is going to drop down no more than 20. When you have that thought process in mind, it can make you make a better decision. So if it's green and it's going up, then it proves my point, because that would prove that it still didn't drop no lower than this mark right here. And let me see here. I grab a line here. What I'm talking about is where this thing starts right here. See where I drew the line up under the green? That is the point. This red across there barely went across there. Let me thin out that line a little bit more, just so y'all could get a clear picture of what I'm talking about. If you get right now, this green right here is the starting green. This is also the first minute. This here is the second minute. This here is the third minute. This here is the fourth minute. This here is the fifth minute. Here is the starting point of the green. When this candle started, it started right here. And now what I'm trying to say is any candle that follows this is either going to go above this line, this black line I put here, or the most it's going to do is drop down below 20. If you know this, it can help you find out whether it'd be safe to put in over here. Now I'm going to explain to you what these numbers are. Okay, right here, this number stands for 1.2551. And then there's another zero that's supposed to be at the end of this. So this is really, you would look at the last three numbers, and it will basically be over here, which would be 510. So here, 1.25, and then it would also be 510. So that's 510. So when you look at this number here, just remember this is 510. And you can also see it right here. Here's 510. That's what it means. Over here, it's saying that right now where this line is going across, the actual price point right now is at 518. So right now it is 8 points above the 510 mark. Okay, and reason why this is important, because usually when a candle starts off, and in this particular thing, you want to know what is the range here. Like right here, this is 510, but then you look up here, it's 550. Down below the 510, down here, also up on the side here, remember I said this is 5 555, which is 550. Remember, we only look at the last three numbers on the side. This right here stops at 55, but it's supposed to be a 0 whenever you look it over here. Whenever you're looking on the bars here, and let me get a circle here so I can show you. Whenever you're looking at the bars over here, this right here, you're taking the last two numbers and then you add in a 0 around it. That means this stands for 510, just like over here, that's 510. Okay, just like up here, this is ending in 55. That means this right here is 550. Okay, so that means it takes, right now, if you're at 510, it takes you 40 points to get you up to 550. Okay, now you say, well, what's below 510? It's also going to be separated by 40 points. So right now, if you look over here, you got 510 on the side here. Now we're going to go off to the side here because it's just confirming again what I'm telling you. This is very important because you got to know where the range is set up. Over here on my side over here, this here is 5-1. Again, this is the same, represent the same 5-1 right here. And it also is the same 5-1 over here, which is 510. This is 510. Remember 51 and then there's a 0. Over here, this is the actual what the number look like. This right here is just giving you a briefing, which means you always got to add a 0. So right here, so right now, this candle right here, as it's coming down, is at 518. It is 8 ticks, they call it. 8 ticks away from here, from 510. Okay. Over here, after 510, you say down here, what is down here? It's most likely going to be 40 ticks below 510. So if you take 510 and minus 40, it's going to bring you down to 470. So if you even did that on a calculator, you got 510, and you take away 40, it's going to bring you down to 470, and that brings you over to this side over here, the 47. Over here, you can't see it up on here because it goes 510, 500, 490, 480, and then right up under this 480 over here, right above this 480, this chart ain't showing you, but if we slide this down, you would be able to see the 470 mark. Reason why I'm saying this here, because almost every candle that starts, they try to start it in between a certain range. This range is starting at 510, up above is 40, down below it is 40. Okay, so having that in mind, whenever you're doing a chart, most of the time, this candle here is not gonna go no more than 20 below here. And I'm going to prove this up in one of the videos and show you here. But right here, this is the start point right here. It goes to, this is the first minute, second minute, third minute, fourth minute, and then fifth minute. Okay. None of as you can see, this candle didn't go below the green. This didn't go below the green. This didn't go below the green. This one didn't go below the green. This right here went below a little bit, but this little bit wouldn't have equaled 20 points. So, in a lot of cases here, if you would have got down, a lot of cases here, I would have, in some cases, I would have most likely got at the 470 and I would have set a trap down here for 95. See this one down below here up on the 470? If you would have been down here about it and they would have offered you like 95, and usually at the beginning of a chart, they will offer you about 95. Right now, you don't see it up on here because we're about 2 minutes in. But at the beginning, if you would have looked down here, most likely around the 470, this right here number would have been 95. That was the opportunity to get in. That means that this candle right here is starting up here around, I would say right now, this where it's sitting right now is roughly at about 513 right now. And it would have had to drop all the way down to 470, and you do 470 plus 13, That means it would have to drop down 43 ticks. Keep in mind, all the candles I checked, it didn't drop down no more than 20. So it might probably, this red would have probably only dropped down here. You would have been here. So it would have never got it. So you would have then put in a blue right here, like a blue, it would have been a blue 95 that you would have put in, and saying that you don't believe this candle, you believe this candle going to stay above 470. So you would have clicked the blue, and then that's when you would have got in, and you would have got this. And this what you could have did at the beginning of this candle. Okay. So now let's move on to that's right here is these candles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As I proved right here, it did not drop too much lower than the green. In most cases, it's not going to even drop down 20. 20 is the max that I've seen that it did do. And even one of these charts I did where it was right here on a line and the red came down. And as soon as it hit about the 20, it bounced back about 17. So it's only going to go down. These are, when you know how far the candle is going to go, it can let you know where you should get in as far as the money. Now this right here is the case of the green. Most likely if the green, usually there's a green and then there's another green going up, then that means it didn't go down below this green at all. But the main concern then, if it's going up green, then you would be concerned that how low will the red go? And what I'm trying to tell you is that the red will only go down maybe about 20 points down there. So if it comes down only 20, you think to yourself, when this candle first starts at the beginning, it makes its first, when you in your first 1 minute there and you see that green starts right there and it's made, that first candle is made, then you can go ahead and most likely grab this 95 is going to be open for you. And up in somebody, and right now we're looking at a chart at this time of day, which is about almost 3 p.m. You're going to see less money being offered. There's some of the time where you got money flowing through both sides of these at a nice amount that you could get in, long as you know where the range is. So anytime you start a candle, whenever you want to look at a chart, what you want to do here is start at the 5 minute. You want to be on the 1 minute candle. You want to start from there. And usually there's a thing you could drag over these here and it will actually show you, which I'm going to show y'all another picture of. I'm going to show you what it looked like, and it kind of breaks down what is the highs, what is the lows of each candle. And when you drag it over, it will tell you what is the highest point, what is the lowest, and when this candle actually opened, what was the number. So a lot of times what you're going to do is just, and when you drag it over, hover over these here, it will show you this open at this time. This with the amount of what points it was at that time. And then if you move over here, it will tell you what the points, the highest and the lowest. That's how I was able to tell that anything that usually go below this, it usually doesn't go below a 20, because I was able to hover over each of these right here, and then a box would pop up and tell me what did this open at, and then and it would show. Now I will go to the fifth one and see where the fifth one closed at, and then you will see where this one opens at and where this one's open at. It's less than a 20 difference. It's either going to be, if it goes up green, 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 and then most likely it will be between this line and down below it's going to be a 0. If it's like this one right here, it didn't go below the line. This red one right here did not go below the line. So it's still 0 below. This right here, green, it's going up. It still didn't go below the line. This red right here, it didn't go below the line. This red here went slightly below the line, but then it stopped. It's because, again, all of them I checked did not go below where that was starting at. Now we're going to take another look at this one right here. This one right here is a start right here. Okay, it stopped right here. This is red now we're talking about. With the red candle, now we're talking in the reverse. We're not thinking, when you're talking about green, you want to know how low can it go. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about how high right now. Whenever it's green, we're looking to get in on one of these prices that's here, that's below. Like for instance here, this is 510, 470, or 430. You're in this rule here, you're not trying to go above and place nothing up here. This is not what this strategy is about. It's about knowing how low this go and take advantage of these ones that's below there. When you got a first candle green, the total opposite is when you go with the red now. Now we're talking red now. Okay. With red, that usually with the red, you're going to it's going to be pretty much the same rule, but it's going to have the same rules almost going up now. What I mean, so when you get a green candle, how far from the start of this red will it go above that? I'm going to draw a line there so you see what I'm talking about. So right now, if we put a line, this is where that red started at, right here at, let me see here, one moment. At the top of this red, that's the starting point. Anytime you start the red start at the top. Okay, that's where the first 1 minute start, right here at the top. At any red, that's where the red starts at the top line. When you look at this right here, the red started at the top. It just started down below. It dropped down to here, but it started up here, up the top. Even this one right here, when you look at this, it started there, but it didn't hardly go up or down. Went up a little bit, went down a little bit, then stopped still where it started from. When you look at this red, it started from the top and it drops down. When you look at a green, the green starts from the bottom and goes up. All these greens that you see, it started from the bottom and going up. This green right here, it started from the bottom and then it goes up. So it got a different rule now because this is the first candle, this is green. And whenever something is going green, that means we're not focused on how much it goes up. We're more or less concerned about getting in somewhere below where it started at. This is where it started. So we're gonna look at opportunities that's below it for the 510 spot, for the 470 spot, or the 430 spot. Those is what we're looking for money. And once you know the 20 rule, and if you know right now when you hover over this green, it's going to tell you how much what this opened at. You're going to see a little box that says it opened at a certain tick. And so when you look at that tick, this one right here, probably, like I said, opened probably around 513. And so right now, I would be looking then to get something less than. Really, I could have, based up on this right here, because where this red actually stopped, I could have got in at 510 here. And keep in mind, this started at 513. You know, probably around 513, this green here. And this red came down and stopped probably roughly about 511, 512, maybe around. Well, let's say the green probably started at about maybe 515. It started at 515. Remember, greens go up and it starts from the green. Greens go up. Reds starts from the top and they go down. So this red right here came from here, moved over here, and it came down and it stopped roughly about 512. Remember, this started at 515. So this only dropped down from here to here only by about 3 ticks. So that means if you would have got in right here at $70 right there, that would have been $30 gain for you right there. Because again, that red, it came down only 3 points right there below and it stopped. Most of them do not even get nowhere near 20, but if you want to really stay clear of that, then you could have probably down here, most likely they would have been offering you way some, maybe even like 80. So if this right here blue would have been 80 down here, then that would have been offering you $20. If it would have been this one or the next one down below, say at 95, it would have been offering you $5. So whatever this amount is, you have to deduct it from 100. So right here, 70. If you would have got in, it would have gave you $30 right now, and $2 of them would have been taken off because anytime you place an order, $1 is to place the order, $2 is to, the second dollar is to take that order away. Okay. So uh, you would have clicked on here, and then you would have clicked on place order. If you want to say I want to place more than one spot, then you would have clicked on this limit over here. You would have clicked on this limit over here, and this over here, once you click up on that, and then a drop down box would come there, you would have put in let's just say if you want to just put whatever it is here, you would have just left this, not at limit, it would have been market, you would have had it on. And so you just would have clicked on this over here would have turned to a blue 70 over here, and all you would have to do was place the order, and they would have had a drop down on how many orders you would have placed. You could pick 1, 2, 3, or how many, and then you would have been able to get in, and then your order would have been placed there. Okay, I just want you to understand, whenever you're doing this here, you got to know where the range. Most of the time they start these charts off, they start them in the middle of two numbers, almost like the middle of a football field. 50-yard line is right here, and usually this, like I say, is 40 above here and 40 below. Yesterday I was seeing even some of them where it would be 100 in between increments, and it's still like all you would be doing is, before you do anything, start at the beginning of a let me move that out the way there. All you want to do first is know where the 1 minute starts at, when the first 5 minutes of the 1 minute starts. And most of the time you can tell when it's at the beginning. Usually it's by this number up here. Usually it tells you when it's about to start. Also you could look at the clock over here. Here's another clock over here up top here. It can also tell you right here. See where I'm at right here? It can tell you whenever you see, if this number right here is 2:52 right now, and this is PM, if it was at 2:50 around it, then you know it is the start of a 5 minute. These are right here. This is still the 5 minute chart, but I had it. They got a bar that you could drop down so you could see it in 1 minute increments. 1 minute increments give you more idea of what's going on to be able to dissect a regular 5 minute charts with a candle that we have been used to seeing. This has taken the 5 minutes that we used to seeing and actually broke it down into 1 minute increments. Okay, so it gives you even a more clearer picture of what's going on. Before, I was able to eat off of here because I felt like if there were 3 greens in a row, and I was able to look down here, this right here telling me how much momentum it has. In some cases, if these bars was green and this had 3 greens in a row, then I knew I would get in here because I said that's a strong green. Okay, that is one way to look at another strategy. But this later strategy, when you go by knowing how many, where this starts at and where it's not going to go, that one is more, I like that one more because you can use that one more. And it happens way more frequent where you can almost get in almost every single candle. I was able to get on it just randomly, and I was able to get on with confidence and knowing where that candle is not going to go. My only thing is this right here, what I'm going to be looking into more is about every now and then you have a candle that just like take off and it jumps either way up or it jumps down way low. And I'm going to do more research on when and why that happened. That's about the only weakness I can see with this rule. So in some cases, you might not want to put in 10 spots. You might want to, because of that one opportunity for a candle just to go crazy. You could do this, even say, if you said, okay, I just only want to do 1 position at a time. I'm not going to put in or say maybe 2 positions at a time. I won't go above that because you don't want to lose everything because one of the candles decide to take off one way out of the blue. And you don't want to lose, if you lose anything, let it be less amount. So you might be better off, even in this case here, yeah, you could go up to many positions, like say, if you had 10 positions and then you gain 10 times, in this case right here, you would have got $30. 10 positions open on this right here, this would have got you $300 right here. Because you take 10 times 30, and it would maybe roughly about $300. But then you also got to remember each position you got open, you got to take off that $2 off of there. So it would have got you roughly about 260 somewhere around there. And so that if you would have had 10 positions. But what I'm saying is about sometimes these candles shoot up and go crazy, and it happens probably usually about once every few days or something, which I'm going to be still looking to find out when those usually happen and how to kind of look out for them. The red might go super long or the green goes super big. Those right there defeats my strategy. So to protect yourself, you could be in 95, 97% of the time, and then that candle happens one time. If you got all your eggs in one basket, you could lose them all, or you lose a good portion of what you've been working for. That's what I'm saying. It might be best to only put in maybe 2 positions or maybe 3 positions at a time as you build it up, so that just in case when them ones jump out of nowhere, you ain't losing all of your money here. Okay. So in this case right here, I did show you how right now, whenever it's green, you want to put the line up under the green. Whenever it's red, you want to put the line above where the red, because that's where the red starts. And with here, it's going to be about the same rule. That nothing will go above the 20 mark here. This right here started down here, probably roughly, I would say maybe about 5:06. I would say maybe about 5:11, maybe about 5:12. This red one right here. This is the start. I put an S already there for this to start. This is the first candle. This is the second candle. Third candle. You see the third candle, it jumped up and then it bounced back down. It only jumped up though to, if this started at 5:12, this line right here, it means 5:18. So it only jumped up about 6 ticks right there. Okay. So if this number here, the red here, you're going to say this candle will not go above this here. So in the case of that right there, after you seen this was already a red candle, you could have then said, okay, it's not going to go above this mark. And in this case here, most likely they would have been offering you, like I say, sometimes through the daytime, that's when they're offering more money. And sometimes I'm talking about like literally like around 10 o'clock, in between like around 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock and stuff. And then sometime late at night, you could check down through each of these different currency pairs. Y'all see the currency pairs is over here. And you will see the different amount of money that they offering you already from the beginning. And some of these will have more money offering than others. So here, up on here, you got a dollar right now, which is, you're not going to make no money off of that right there. In order for you to make money, you at least got to be over $3, because 2 of them dollars is going to go towards you placing the order. So if this was at 3, you would still make $1 in this spot right here. I usually try to go for when it set it for 5 and get it right here. And reason why I say this is effective, because after the first candle, you only 1 minute in, it gives you plenty of opportunity to take advantage of what's going to happen. Before, you won't know nothing until you get into the lower candles, and by that time the money will be dropped down then. That's why this is a killer strategy move. And I was able, once I didn't find this out to a little bit later on in my shift while I was working on Friday, so I'm kind of like looking over. I wasn't fully concentrated into this because I was actually working. But even up in this here, I was able to make like $90 just jumping in and out, and I wasn't even really even paying attention, like just only on this, because I'm also working. But now that I know what I'm looking for, and you can imagine if you really had your head into it, understanding the difference between, remember, you're starting at the 50-yard line and where the candle gonna go. When we're talking about the red, remember, we're only wondering with the red how high it will go. And right now, I would say, remember, it will most likely not go up no more than 20 ticks. Okay, if it's a red candle. Okay, we think about uh, 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 going up. Okay, 20 ticks if it's a red candle. If your first candle is a red, we're going 20 ticks. It said it won't go no more than 20 ticks up. Okay, if it is a green candle, okay, green, green candle, it won't go no lower than your first green candle. Okay, 20 ticks. And we call them ticks is these right here, like this right here is 510 ticks, and this right here is at 5 right now. This line, going gray line going across, tell you exactly where the main price is at right now. It's at 518. This is 510. Okay. Okay. So what you want to do, like even before you even do any of this right here, this is what I get from studying and hoovering over the candles here. So how you know where these won't go is at the beginning before you do anything. Don't just go off the 20 ticks. This is what I found with this particular uh, candle situation. What you want to do first is go down the line of all the candles, hover over them, and it's going to tell you what this green, the first one open at, and then you want to see what the fifth one close at. If this opens at 5, let's say opens at 515, this one closes at 518, that means it only dropped down 3 ticks. Then you move to the next one. Okay, this one opened at 512. Let's see what it landed down. This one landed, so it landed -0. Anything on a red below this line here, it's a -0. What we want to know is how high it goes up. So if this is -0, you already know you in the good, because it didn't go no art. We want to get something above. Now, if we on a green candle, we want to get something that's below the 510 where the green started from, and you want to be about 20 ticks away from wherever this started from. That's the safety zone. Up in the red, you want to stay 20 ticks above where this one had started from. You want to stay out of that range. This is the range right here, and that's where you want to stay above. All right, and that's, I can show you, that's where the money's at. What's up, huh?